So, hello everyone and welcome to this live reaction video again, this time Jubilee thing. Soon I will be going on a family vacation, which I haven't done in a very long time. I will film bits and pieces of it, I guess, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that video whenever and ever anything. Also, the editing of the Breath of the Wild challenge that I did a while back has been standstill for a little while, but I decided let's do something very easy. This is the Jubilee thing again, middle ground thing where you have hunters and vegans. So let's see what this is going to be like. Oh, this is gonna be good.
If we were all born like 3 centuries from now, the world has been globalized and like agriculture can reach every corner of the globe. How would that affect, if at all, your views or your choices?
Am I going to be judged if I say not at all?
Yes.
I became vegan because I could no longer think about eating something that was once living and breathing.
The primary thing that keeps me vegan is just always the animal liberation. The idea that we are trying to push our ideas onto others. That stereotype I've experienced the most.
Hunting is a very
Yeah, sure. That is the thing that I hear a lot. That people, oh, you're pushing your viewpoint on others. What do you expect that would do when there's an animal holocaust going on?
very hard concept for people to understand. I am in Texas, it's a lot more acceptable, even though being a woman who hunts, people still, have a really hard time with that concept.
Yeah, Texas, southern states, yeah, it's a little bit more accepted there. You know what used to be more accepted there as well? I'm not gonna say it. You all know what I'm talking about.
I feel like a lot of people think vegans are more effeminate. People will question your sexuality oftentimes.
How old is this? Just a second. Like, how old is this? It came out this year. 20th? It's only 2 days old. Okay.
I grew up in a rural village, living off the land. The way we live is in total respect to the animals, and I think there's so much that people do not know about indigenous culture.
Yes, I have total respect of my fellow humans. That's why I kill them. Indigenous cultures, not an excuse. Is it 3-on-2?
My name is Danny. I'm queer, I'm vegan, and I'm multiracial.
Hi, my name is Don Marvens. I've been a vegan for coming on 6 years now. I'm a freelance photographer and I recently moved to the LA area.
My name is Nina. I'm 24. I've been vegan for coming up on 5 years now, and I'm a professional astrologer.
I think there's something to be said that there's only 2 hunters there. People don't think they have a good case against vegans. So I think they had a really hard time getting 3 hunters, honestly.
Hi, my name is Brittany. I'm Koyukon Dene from Alaska. I'm a first-generation college graduate, and I went to school in the California area, and I'm currently on a road trip visiting friends to learn whose land I'm on.
I am Carly, I'm from Texas. I'm a wife, a mom. I also do sales and marketing consulting.
The first prompt is, I care about animals' well-being. Walk forward if you agree.
Yeah, you care about their well-being, but you have no problem killing them.
Is that surprising to y'all that 2 hunters walked over?
No, it's not surprising. I just think you're hypocrites.
I would love to hear why. Yeah, I would love to hear it.
Hunters have the utmost respect for animals. And I think
Yeah. I have very much respect for humans too.
I think that's a really hard thing for people to see. It's how can you love something and respect something that you kill?
Yeah, Yeah, let me hear the argument.
It's just a hard concept, right? Conservation is a big reason why I hunt.
Okay, you're going there. Okay, how old is this planet? Okay. When was the last mass extinction? 65 million years ago. How long is humans' total evolutionary history? 4 million years. This is nonsense.
It not only provides food for my family,
Which you could grow.
but I can shoot a certain number of deer each year, and that will keep that population and that herd thriving.
Yeah, because that is why you're hunting, right? Yeah, you want the deer population to go down. Like, I've never seen you take a selfie next to like a recycle station or something like that. Like, I never seen a hunter do that.
I guess I've never really came at this conversation from like an angle of vegans versus hunters. It's always vegans versus meat eater. So I understand in a sense the respect you have to what you're doing. I just know that I could never do that.
Yeah, and I think that for me is one of my maybe more bigger issues is not with vegans, but it's more people who eat meat but don't understand hunting. So you're gonna eat meat that was slaughtered at a
I agree with her on that point.
factory. But I can't just give a deer one swift, great bullet in the heart where it dies.
I'm curious if she actually buys meat from the grocery store. I actually think she does.
Albert's supposed to die.
I was one of those people that said I could never even be vegetarian. Like, I was probably like the people that you're describing, just, you know, not having a connection to what they're eating. I didn't think about it. And then as streaming services go, I found a little documentary through the suggestions.
But it changed your life.
And it changed my life. And like, I remember I went to brunch that morning and I had like sausage and egg and like fried cheese. And then that night I watched this documentary. And so that's why I'm vegan, because I can't support like us as an industry and as a populace, like removing the choice from that large of a swath of animal populations just because they're animals.
If there was a solution, like just the magic happens, the skies part, and all the meat is like done in a way that is humane, would that make you more inclined to eat meat?
I think that
Well, if it was humane to kill humans, would I make it okay to kill humans? If not, name the trait. What is it that's true of an animal that, if true of a human, would justify needlessly killing them for hamburgers?
you sort of get into the fundamentals of like, is it humane to kill something? I have to understand and respect and honor that, like, in indigenous cultures, you know, there's many reasons why people hunt. We would all be remiss if we didn't admit that, you know, at a time in human history, like, we needed animal protein and animal meat to survive. But today, it's not necessarily a necessity.
No, it's not a necessity at this very moment. So even indigenous people who can thrive off of something else than hunting, they should have a moral obligation to leave that savage life behind and actually stop killing animals.
I was being taught ethical hunting
There's no such thing as ethical hunting.
by an ethical hunter.
Well, yeah, I can say that there's ethical hunting if it's like mercy killing. That I can agree to.
And again, I think that's a harder concept here, because trust me, like, they're asshole hunters. But that's
All
what
of them.
I saw conservation, and I saw ethical hunting, and I saw why we do it, and I saw
Okay, explain it to me.
all the food. You know, I haven't bought beef. I mean, in 6-7 years,
Can I ask you a question that I'm kind of scared to ask?
and we'll see.
So you said that you're a mother, and if you think of like Bambi, do you ever consider the small baby animals that you're taking their parents away from them?
Okay. So Bambi doesn't exist. Right. That's a Disney movie.
Oh, it's an hypothetical though.
If a mom is there with her yearlings, you would never kill that mom, right? You wait until she kicks them out of the house.
And that's part of like ethical hunting.
That is like, yeah, no one.
Sometimes the quota says that many dealings, and then people just don't care and they kill the dealings. You will never kill the mother, you will kill the children.
Really, like, you wait until the babies are kicked out.
No, that is not standard practice.
I learned from my Tlingit cousins, they're from the southeastern Alaska. They're the ones that invented the fish hook. It was so wide that only a full-grown halibut could get caught. It's a generational thought. You're not just thinking about, oh, I need food tonight. You're like, how do I make sure I protect their natural processes? When fish hooks are made now, anything can cook out. So many of our pre-colonial traditions were staying in balance with animals, and we had so many practices that prevented overhunting. And
Yeah, and this was in a time when there was a need. Today, in this day and age, there is no need for it, so why do you do it?
people who are living off the land, who are fighting for the land, are getting last priority. We're not allowed to fish if there's commercial fishing. We're constantly being watched and fined. It's constantly having land taken away. If you look at any community, it's constantly happening to them where they're told they're not allowed to do this or eat this. It's all connected, it's all a cycle.
I think it all should be banned. I don't think you should kill animals.
Veganism is a privileged way of living.
Yes and no.
If you have a choice of where you get to get your food and where it comes from, and even knowing about
Sometimes meat eating is a privilege, by the way, so yeah, it's yes and no, so I wouldn't know if I would go or not if I stood there as a vegan.
it is a privilege.
To have the choice to be vegan includes, makeup and clothing and all of these things. And, sustainable clothing, for example, is
Knowing what she just said, that I would have actually walked forward, actually, yeah.
a top dollar
Yeah.
if you're trying to buy it new. And thrifting is great, but some people don't even have access to that. And so I think that choice is a privilege and veganism is a choice.
I was born in Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and the fact that my parents were able to leave with me when I was just like 1 year old into the States, like really shaped how my life would go. The
There are a lot of third worlders who are vegans as well, by the way.
lifestyle that I'm living is such a stark contrast from the people down in the Caribbean.
I feel like I have to talk about how veganism, especially in the States and especially in like the global West, has been totally co-opted by I'm just gonna say it, by whiteness. Veganism shouldn't be a privilege in my opinion, but it is. Like the world that we live in now, it is.
I don't know enough about being a vegan. I think of it as like something that rich white people do, but I don't know. I don't
There are vegans of any background out there.
know any vegans. I don't know how much money it costs.
Yeah, a lot of people also from lower income backgrounds or areas, they also rely on fast food. And that stuff is really cheap because, as far as I understand, the government subsidizes
Yeah, food shelters and such, that's true.
meat and animal products much more than it does vegetables.
Which is insane.
When we think about someone who has to work a low-wage job to survive, you also have to think they're probably working more than one job, possibly. You want the easiest meals. You want the highest calorie meals because you're working and you're burning so many calories.
Most amount of oils then?
So when you're saying, why don't you eat more plant-based, you're asking them to change their shopping habits, you're asking them to spend more time, you're asking them to educate themselves.
If they can, they should. Hands down.
And when you are working that hard, you have to numb yourself.
Okay, there's a lot of vegan food with a lot of calories. I don't know where she's going with this.
We're eating to survive. That is different than choosing what you're eating.
Totally.
Somebody should have pinned her down on that one because there's a lot of cheap vegan food with a lot of calories. Bread, there's rice, there's oils, there's nuts.
And it's not fair to ask any of those people in survival mode to completely shift their way of life and learn a whole new lifestyle. And I definitely agree with that. I'm just curious, if we were all born 3 centuries from now, the world has been globalized and agriculture can reach every corner of the globe. How would that affect, if at all, your views or your choices?
Am I going to be judged if I say not at all?
I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, I'm going to eat meat. I don't want to say there's no reason to not eat meat. But there's maybe no reason for me not to eat meat.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm feeling
Challenge her, please.
judged.
I'm not judging,
you
but
know-
but I don't understand. I'll be honest, I don't
Yeah.
understand.
I mean, like I still cry when I kill something. I mean,
Okay, maybe that would be a good enough reason not to do it.
I love the animals, but they're still just animals.
Oh, they're still just animals, and this fella here, he's just a black boy, you know. Where's the justification? This was not like a comparison. It was just like you're using like this. Oh, they're different, as like a justification. Like, oh, they're not like us.
Like, it's okay to eat one. Everyone's been eating meat forever.
That is an appeal to tradition fallacy.
That's true.
You know, and
It's been a
there's
long
never
time
been a
practice.
culture ever.
Yeah, same thing was with the slave trade. Does that make it okay because it has been going on forever?
That was 100% vegan. You know, they have shifted. They're plant-based and Mediterranean and Buddhist, and they have moved towards a whole culture who was 100% vegan. I don't think has ever existed.
Doesn't matter if it has never existed. I mean, a culture without slavery is pretty new.
Sounds like it's a natural order kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting to hear because I'm firmly of the belief that like we are animals. So for me, the natural order perspective doesn't hold a lot of water.
Do you guys have pets? Like, and in other parts of the world, what you would consider your pet, some people would eat.
But that's there. I mean,
Oh, that's there. Yet another appeal to tradition fallacy.
like I don't eat my dog, and I hope none of you don't eat my dog. But that's, you know, I mean, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
worry about some.
Oh, yeah, because that is too difficult for you, because your argument wouldn't work, you know.
One in China eating dogs. Like you know, we can all try to make the world a better place, and
It's interesting though because it does kind of challenge the natural order perspective.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line?
Right.
Something to think about in this conversation too is knowing that even when we eat plants, there's so many people that we're exploiting.
Yes.
The core of this, I think, is just having that respect for your food.
I fully agree with that. I think it's such a falsehood when vegans say cruelty-free. The avocados that I eat, you know, were harvested by people that are being exploited. So
Do you guys consider hunting a privilege?
isn't everything a privilege to a point, right? A lot of people are going literally in their backyard, shooting something,
That was a really good comeback.
processing it in their house, and putting it right on the table for their family. Like that to me is beautiful.
That's disgusting to me. Honestly, I've grown up with hunting. I still think it's disgusting.
Hunting can be really expensive. You basically have to have a huge ranch, or you have to spend a ton of money to hunt on someone else's ranch.
Exactly, it's about economics.
And then I think what a lot of people see are, right, the trophy hunters and the going over to Africa and hunting. I have not done that yet.
Yet, oh yeah, she's actually going to do trophy hunting. Okay.
That does not mean that I am not for it or against it. I do know that tourism in Africa is a huge moneymaker for them.
Jeez, there are so many other ways you can help people in Africa than to go over for doing like trophy hunting.
I mean, those villages are really poor, and having an entire animal and multiple animals that hunters give them it's big for them.
What about giving them plant-based foods?
My question with that would just be, why would it have to be a tourist? It kind of just sounds like the white savior complex
Yeah.
narrative.
Pretty much.
Because we're willing to pay a shitload of money.
I remember reading a statistic about like a single elephant in its lifetime can garner over $1 million just from photographic tourism. One single elephant's ivory is about $21,000. So just that in itself, like to me, is evidence that like non-violent tourism, like non-trophy hunting tourism, like is just as lucrative, if not more lucrative than trophy hunting.
Hunting is only acceptable if it's for food.
I disagree.
Oh, I agree with this.
I disagree.
Come on, Britt.
If this was asked first, I would have disagreed. But after hearing your story, it is necessary to an extent.
If you're hunting for food, then you're saying that your life is more important than that other animal's life, and that is more reasonable to me than saying that your pleasure or your trophy or whatever is more important than an animal's life.
No, I'd say that hunting for food, it could be necessary if it's the only way to survive. That I can agree to. But there are other situations where hunting would be permissible. For example, in situations like in Azerbaijan where there was a wolf pack with rabies, I have no problem with them just massacre the entire pack.
There's also safety, which I now realize, and it's like almost 2 hours if you needed a medical emergency evacuation. So yeah, I don't know any killing besides safety and like food, and then we still try to make the most out of the body and the fur, and we'll try to like feed it to the dog team. So
There is just the biology of land, and there's biology of carrying capacity, and there's biology of how these animals have to be, taken care of.
Nonsense. Due to hunting, we're now, and also animal agriculture, we're now in the 6th mass extinction. This is total another nonsense.
I know that if people are not hunting, those deer are gonna starve.
Okay, she needs to take a class in, let's say, biology, nature biology, because things go in waves, and that's basically what has been working for millions and millions and millions of years.
There's not enough food, there's not enough water, there's
And nature know how to balance this out.
not enough shelter. So to me, I will take one for the team and I will shoot a few deer this year to keep the land in check and
That is not why there is set up hunting, it's due to economics.
the ecosystem in check.
I don't disagree that maintaining equilibrium of an ecosystem is important. My question to that would be like, what's actually sitting at the root cause of the deer overpopulation? Is the root cause that people aren't hunting enough, or is the root cause that their land is being taken away? But me making assumptions, hunting is a Band-Aid solution.
Like, I wish I could answer a very smart and based on data.
But she doesn't know, right?
Done. I mean, look at Los Angeles and Dallas, and where are animals going?
Right.
They're dying. But what is the solution? I don't know.
Leave nature be and try regulating things whenever you see there is an issue somewhere. That is the best way to go about it, but right now, it's sport.
the US a lot of the times has tried to decide what animals need to go or not without the guidance of indigenous people who have been doing this for thousands of years and who have relationships with the animals. There are solutions, there are people that know it, and we need to push people in power to uplift voices who have this knowledge.
My diet is healthier.
Okay, is everybody going to walk forward now? Oh, okay, only two.
Hey, girl.
Hey. The question is healthier than what? I chose to come up here because my diet is healthier than when I was not eating a vegan diet. I love a Beyond Burger. Is that healthier than eating rice, beans, and collard greens every day? No, it's not. Do I believe that eating plant-based is healthier than eating animal products? Yes.
And if you're super, super intentional and informed about what you're putting in your body, then it's gonna be healthier than someone who's not.
That's also healthier on an emotional and mental level. There's this detachment, this emotional detachment that you're going through when you're eating an animal, and that to me is emotionally unhealthy. I think awareness is one of the healthiest things that we can have.
So one thing I want to say about that is that there is a possibility of eating healthy and eating animal products, sure. But animal products are not health foods. You can't find a single animal product that is an absolute health food.
I know if you search veganism online, especially on YouTube, you can see very dangerous vegan diets being just told to a massive audience of young impressionable people.
Absolutely.
But Oreos are vegan, Twizzlers are vegan, and
What about those raw vegan diets? You should mention that.
it's been 1 a.m. and I'm down to sleep with Oreos. I'm just like, why did I do that? But
Just
it's
wait
vegan.
till you're 30.
Yeah, I'm 24, so I feel like I'll just keep on kicking. I don't know.
Coming here, I want to be very careful in extremes. Like my meat is, my diet is healthier. I don't know that. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you. I believe the meat I eat is better.
Yeah, but it's still laced with cholesterol, saturated fats, heme iron, and sulfur-containing amino acids.
Than what you would get at McDonald's. I just think it would be so hard to be a vegan.
No, you live in Texas. You got so many meat replacements and everything. It should be really easy for you. Just pick something else.
Like it seems like so much work.
How?
There's a learning curve.
It's not hard in the grand scheme of things.
No.
I feel a lot better putting in the work because I feel more empowered, I guess you could say. The definition of veganism is just as far as what is practicable and possible. It's all about doing your best.
Hey, thank you.
Was that it? Okay. So there's a lot of things to unpack, but I'm just going to take the short of it. So hunting is a practice that has been going on for survival for a very long time. But after the last years, they have killed down deer population, but they hunt specific, especially in the United States. They target males, basically, because you only need one male upon like 100 females, so that will actually increase the population. Thus, you can sell more hunting licenses. Why people hunt? Is it because of environmental reasons? No, that is just an excuse. Exactly why people hunt, like, there might be many reasons for people to hunt, but often it's just the lust of killing. Other times it's just tradition, and sometimes it's just sexual frustration. So yeah, that's basically why I think people hunt. I think that these hunters should have had someone else to talk to. Also, getting hunters to go up against vegans is very difficult due to the fact that vegans have the upper hand ethically. Thank you for watching.